This shows us both transferring and then our back knees being in the passive position that it's meant to be. This shows us both block and return, but I get into the proper position with the legs separated the right amount, where he stays in the passive position and tries to firm up from an unstable place. This shows the passive back leg and just how vulnerable it is on my side and how he tries to firm up. But because he tries to firm up there, you can see his back side breaks down and he leans back because it's not stable enough to keep him upright. And of course, this is the other view where I get deeper and shows how I can stay upright and in position. If you see it again, how I can transfer return, you don't see my body moving at all. So he manages to keep his upper body stable, but this is BP. In the game, there's no doubt he would wobble, he would move it. And remember, the leaning back is a cheat block. So if he was upright like I am upright, he would have more reach. He loses his reach by leaning back. But if he were to be upright, he would, no doubt, he would leak forward. He would leak probably up and out. So he needs the lean back to assist the weak blocking action with the knees pinched together. And it's not only unstable, but it's not sufficient to block. He needs the added lean back to keep his upper body from moving forward. Okay, so this is an attempt to get the blocking down, and there's 3 moves that he needs to get together. And then this extra move to shorten his timeline. So you quickly find the launch position, you keep the knee from sliding, keep the foot from sliding because then that creates a weak base, and keep yourself from leaking. Because when you leak up, so all 3 things creates that weakness and instability. But your back foot stays a little sideways like a rudder. It pushes off. You don't slide, because if you slide, then your hips will open too far, and you have nothing, think George earlier, you have nothing to keep your hips from rotating with your upper body. So this is just something you have to work on, and he worked on it, he rehearsed it, and started to get the feel. Not only do you have to walk side, but you have to keep your back foot on the ground. I don't want you to be so quick to releasing that back foot. Stride and keep that back foot on the ground as long as you can. Stride. Why? Because if you let go a little early, these become so loose that this doesn't rotate strong enough. You can cheat a little bit by leaning back, but I don't suggest it because, if you're hitting and you see a ball and you kind of lean back. Well, if you lean back, the problem with leaning back, overly leaning back or relying on leaning back, the problem with that is when you get a pitch, if you're leaning back, what if the ball's a little bit further up front? You're going to end up kind of going like that. There's nothing you can do. So what happens is when you lean over and you shift sideways, it locks your hips in. Look, I can't over-rotate. So if I'm in the middle here like this, I can only rotate here. Unloading my back side allows me to rotate fully, okay? But my hip can't open. So you know about blocking. So blocking, you return, right? But you also block because your front hip, it doesn't open up really. Maybe you place it in a good position, but it doesn't open up quickly. So you want to keep that back leg from sliding, so you keep it sideways. That back foot is a rudder, because if that back foot goes like this, then you're not going to get a weight shift. Where's my sideways hips? I don't have any sideways hips. If this turns, if I'm worried about getting the bat out, then the back foot's going to turn. What's going to happen is your shift into the ball is going to create that lag. So you don't have to worry about the bat flying early. Bat flying early only happens when you quit shifting, okay? So here's a case where we have a young hitter who's already developed into an exceptional hitter, doing the rehearsals, doing the touchstones, using the ground so he can go the other way, keeping his legs apart. He's creating some lower body stability, hitting bombs, one after another, always hitting for average now, crushing the ball, keeping his legs apart, ready for professional baseball.